everyone, welcome. So today we're bringing you a pretty fascinating explainer, really a complete Vishlation or SAR of a massively popular concept, Vastu Shastra. Over the next 4 to 5 minutes, we're going to look at something you might not have thought about. Have you ever considered that the everyday, totally inanimate objects just sitting quietly in your room right now might be emitting energies that could be actively blocking your wealth? Well, according to the source material we are examining today, our physical spaces are deeply connected to our financial reality. So let's break down exactly how that works.
You know that feeling where you're putting in all this hard work, but there's just no money saved at the end of the month? It's incredibly frustrating, right? If you're constantly dealing with unexplainable expenses, financial drains, or even just a tense atmosphere at home despite your absolute best efforts, the text we're analyzing points to a very specific culprit. They call it hidden Vastu Dosh, which essentially translates to architectural and energetic flaws. Let's look at exactly what the source claims is causing this invisible drain on your success.
All right, let's just dive right into it. Theme 1, the broken and the damaged. Actually, take a quick look around your room right now. The source material strictly advises against keeping broken furniture, like, wobbly chairs or cracked tables. It also points out damaged electronics, cracked mirrors, and even stopped clocks. It also specifically calls out torn wallets and scattered pocket money. The text states that hoarding these broken items literally creates negative energy, forces positive energy out, and ultimately leads to immense mental distress and financial leaks.
Now, what's really interesting here is the strict distinction the text makes regarding religious idols. It heavily contrasts traditional, perfectly intact photos of deities with torn pictures or non-traditional, aggressive forms, like a fierce, angry Bhairav. If you have torn or broken deity photos, the text explicitly advises immersing them respectfully in a holy river to prevent any further financial loss.
Moving right along, that brings us to Theme 2, Dangerous Decor.
So, you might think your interior design choices are purely aesthetic, totally harmless, right? Well, look at the contrast the text outlines here. Positive decor, like a filled puja kalash and green plants, is said to invite prosperity. On the flip side, negative decor, we're talking thorny plants, empty pots, and pictures of violent animals like vultures or bats, reportedly have the exact opposite effect. According to the text, an empty puja kalash directly drains prosperity, while thorny plants and violent animal pictures actually breed conflict and a hostile attitude among family members.
And it goes beyond just the obvious stuff. The source actually warns about some really subtle traps, like spider webs. They're said to physically catch and trap negative energy, literally turning good days into bad ones. And those artistic paintings of desolate cities or dry trees, the text claims they just radiate negativity. Furthermore, keeping unverified gems or unknown stones just lying around can slowly alter your home's atmosphere, completely turning good fortune into misfortune.
Okay, this brings us to what I think is a highly intriguing part of the text. Theme 3, the cost of free.
I mean, who doesn't love a freebie?
Well, according to this material, there are certain everyday items you should absolutely never accept for free. Handkerchiefs, for instance, are said to sour relationships. A free matchbox, being a symbol of fire, reportedly brings anger and unrest straight into the home. And accepting a free needle? The text claims it directly creates marital discord and serious domestic turmoil.
And the warnings get even more serious here. Accepting free salt, iron, oil, or black sesame, the text heavily cautions against this. The source associates these specific items with the astrological planetary influences of Shani, Rahu, and Ketu. Bringing these into your home for free is said to attract severe poverty, debt, and long-term financial risks. No way, right?
So what does this all mean? And more importantly, how do we fix it? Let's explore Theme 4, Actionable Remedies.
The good news is the text doesn't just point out the problems, it actually offers concrete solutions. First, it says to consolidate all scattered medicines, toilet cleaners, and chemicals into a dedicated wooden or iron box. You want to keep them far away from beds and kitchens so they don't kind of poison the home's atmosphere. Second, if you suspect an energy flaw somewhere, place 2 camphor or copper tablets in that specific area. Once they naturally dissolve, just replace them to maintain a positive flow.
The text also gets into specific directional flaws. For example, if you have a south-facing door, it outlines a few remedies. You could plant a neem tree at double the distance from your entrance, mount a picture of Panchmukhi Hanuman or a Panchdhatu pyramid above the door, or even fix 2 back-to-back Ganesh idols right on the threshold, so one looks inside and one looks outside.
Finally, to deeply cleanse the home's atmosphere, the source material offers this spiritual remedy. Regularly reciting Sundarkand or Ramchari Manas roots out negative energy. The text presents this as the ultimate method to flush out any lingering negativity and invite lasting peace right back into the household.
And that basically brings us to the core message of our quick 5-minute explainer today. So I'll leave you with this final, somewhat provocative question. Is your physical space reflecting the prosperity you actually want to attract? An organized, intentional space heavily influences your mental peace, and according to the source material, your financial reality too. Take a good look around your own rooms today and see what energies you might be unknowingly holding on to. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning,